told to come to post like this. On the pole, it will be car number 5 for Butch Winnie, and alongside will go the 44 Junior for Joey Caruso.
Row 2 goes to the 22X out of Holmes, New York, the Russell's engine-sponsored mount, Steve Smalley Sr., and outside of him, Tommy Cannizzaro.
Car number 83, car number 41 for Mike Weed goes next. And alongside goes the 44 for Lane Kropinski. He's a regular down at the Orange County Speedway. Randy Filipowski set to turn him loose, and we're racing here at Accord. Down into the first turn, it is Joey Caruso with the number 44 to take over the number 1 position. But here comes multi-time feature winner Tommy Cannizzaro off the high side, and already he is into the 2nd spot. Cannizzaro on the high side. Now he'll look to duck low off of turn number 4. Down the front straightaway. Cannizzaro now moves to the high side, looking to take over the number 1 position. They come off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Side by side for the lead. It is Cannizzaro up in the high groove, and he takes the lead away. Going into turn number 3, Tommy Cannizzaro, Joey Caruso, Butch Winnie, Steve Smalley, and Mike Weed, your top 5 with 2 laps in the record books.
So Tom Cannizzaro works it down into turn number 3 right now. Joey Caruso back in the runner-up position, now comfortably ahead of Butch Winnie, who runs back in spot number 3. Caution flag comes out around the speedway. We've got one up around in the wrong direction in turn number 2. The 2 nations already made 21 mini sprints strong here this evening, signed in, so going to put on a good show for you here this evening. We've got 2 heats lined up for them, and we've already got an announcer's tower. We'll be happy to speak with you. As we're just about set to go, once again, green flag racing side by side. 2 by 2, they come off at turn number 4 with the green flag flying. And Cannizzaro, who chose the high side, thinking it's the fast way around, the leader has the option of starting inside or out. Started on the outside and now begins to motor away from the rest of the field down the back straightaway towards turn number 3. Tommy Cannizzaro, 5-time feature winner in the 1992 season out of Stone Ridge, New York. Making it look easy so far as they go by the start-finish line with about a 7 or 8 car length advantage over Joey Caruso, who runs in spot number 2.
No doubt about it, Tommy Cannizzaro has found the fast way around the Accord Speedway tonight, as he has so many times in the past this season with his number 73. He motors off of turn number 4. He accepts the halfway signal from Randy Filipowski and has almost a straightaway lead on the 44 Junior of Joey Caruso and the 22 of Steve Smalley. Top 5 and only 5 will make the move into tonight's feature event, as we have currently Tommy Cannizzaro pulling away with the 44, but now it appears as though he slowed a little bit into turn number 3, no doubt about it. A bit of that lead has gone away for Cannizzaro, but still quite a cushion out there for the Gene's Magic Touch number 73. About 10 car lengths now on the 44 Junior of Joey Caruso and the 22X of Steve Smalley. Cannizzaro appears to be developing a push going into turns 1 and 3 with the number 73, and his lead is shrinking in a hurry as Joey Caruso is catching him through the turns.
Joey Caruso tries to close the gap. He powers it off at turn number 2 down the back straightaway, heading towards turn number 3 right now. Cannizzaro just easing it through the turns, backs off the accelerator as he heads in, tries to get the car to handle, not handling the way he'd like it to, as they come up at turn number 4. 8 laps down and 2 to go, with Joey Caruso closing right back in on Cannizzaro now, who might be having problems. Caruso slips up out of the groove as he goes off at turn number 2 down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Now he's right on the back bumper. White flag flying as Cannizzaro slows off at turn number 4. Problems for race leader Tom Cannizzaro as he comes down the front straightaway. Caution flag flies around the speedway.
To the infield with car number 73. We are set to go green flag racing, and we will see Tommy Cannizzaro in the consolation tonight for the street stock event. Flag out on the event, 1 lap to go. Joey Caruso finds himself out front ahead of Steve Smalley as they go down the back straightaway the final time. Checkered flag will fly off of turn number 4. Joey Caruso leads them down into turn number 3. Here comes Steve Smalley. Will he be able to make the move? He tries it down low, but thinks better of it. Checkered flag is up. Joey Caruso takes the win ahead of Steve Smalley. Butch Winnie. additional entry to the field, car number 83 for Conrad Thitchner, as we are getting the clinch green from Randy Filipowski, this time by. And we will look for green flag racing off of turn number 4. 8 cars scheduled to go the distance, 5 qualifying spots up for grabs in the second street stock heat here tonight. Dan Conklin and Rich Diamond set to bring the field around. As we look to go green flag racing, Randy Filipowski with the field in tow, set to turn them loose. Street stocks will bring it up to speed off of turn number 4. Green flag out on the event. Car number 222 for Dan Conklin out into the lead early. Yellow lights will come on. Apparently, Randy Filipowski was not pleased with what he saw on the start. So we'll line them up and try it all over again. And I don't know if I would want to be the starter when the street stocks think they're going racing and I'm standing on the track. Just about set to kick it off here once again. Street stock heat number, try it again in heat number 2, looking for the green. Randy Filipowski set to throw it. This time he gets a good side-by-side start. And out into the lead goes Dan Conklin with the 222, followed by Pat Kelly. Here comes Bill Leitz with the J26. He's up into 3rd. Up into 4th goes Jeff Hyham with the 19J. Flips he flips Rich Diamond in the 12. He goes spinning down the back straightaway. It appears as though we will go to yellow. Yellow flag out on the event for the number 12 of
for assisting Rich Diamond around over there off of turn number 2. Dan Conklin and Bill Lease up on row number 1. Off of turn number 4. Conklin catches Lease sleeping. Good start. Green flag flies. And Pat Kelly and Jeff Hyham mix it up going into turn number 1 and 2 right now. Hyham finds the high side, open back for spot number 3, but here comes Bill Lease, using the experience to get by Conklin and grab the number 1 spot away. Dan Conklin back in spot number 2, and Jeff Hyham for the first time in the 1992 season here at the Speedway. Look out down at turn number 4. Caution flag flies around the Speedway. Problems down in here this evening. Don't forget, Dash for Cash donations still being accepted up here tonight. The Dash for Cash will be run in the mini sprint division.
We are just about set to go back to green flag competition. Bill Lease has chosen the high side. Green flag out on the event. A good side-by-side start. Out into the lead goes Bill Lease, coming up the high side. Jeff Hyham with the number 19, and he gets clipped just a little bit. And you could see he wanted to chase Bill Lease there, but he's got to get through traffic first. Bill Lease out front with the J26. That's Dan Conklin in the 222. And Jeff Hyham in the 19. He is trying to work around the 222 of Conklin, but he's been unable to do so far. Doing pretty well running amongst the leaders in only his first visit to the Accord Speedway in the 1992 season. Out front, it continues to be the J26 for Bill Lease. Hot spot right now is for the number 2 spot. 3 cars currently battle for that position. And Dan Conklin, Jeff Hyham, and Pat Kelly as the halfway mark will be displayed to the field this time by. Half of this one is history, and it is Bill Lease way out front with the J26. He goes down into turn number 1. Meanwhile, they're mixing it up for the 3rd spot. Jeff Hyham and Pat Kelly. They go side by side down the front straightaway, and once again off of turn number 2. They both slide just a little bit as we complete yet another lap here at the Speedway.
Bill Lease powers away down the front straightaway. Spot number 3, the race of the evening so far. Jeff Hyham hangs onto it right now. Pat Kelly trying to get by him. As Conrad Thitchner develops problems, drops it down to the infield area. That gives the final transfer spot right now to the 77L of Joe Conklin. Conklin out of Warwick, New York, grabs spot number 5. Jeff Hyham and Pat Kelly has flip-flop positions down there in turns number 3 and 4. Kelly takes spot number 3 away. Hyham back to spot number 4. And Joe Conklin rounds out the top 5 off of turn number 4. Way out front right now is Bill Lease with 8 laps down and 2 to go, stretching it out. Dan Conklin in the runner-up spot. Pat Kelly 3rd. Jeff Hyham now losing ground on Kelly back in spot number 4. And Joe Conklin round out the top 5.
White flag will wave, less than 1 lap to go, and Bill Lease knows he can gain an advantage on Tommy Cannizzaro, who will be forced to the Conti by qualifying through the heat. He's not only qualifying, he's going to win the event by quite a bit as he moves down into turn number 3. Checkered flag will fly, and it is the J26 for Bill Lease. Second will go to the 222 for Dan Conklin. Third to Pat Kelly on the 27K. Fourth to the 19 of Jeff Hyham. Here it is for fifth, the final qualifying spot, and it will go to the number 77L of Joe Conklin. Car number 50 for Chris DuBois, and alongside car number 98 is Fred Madison, and then we have the 18 of Jeff Litz. Green flag. Out on the event, into the lead goes the 66 of Charlie Johnson. He leads him down into turn number 1. Here comes Don Sharon into second. Rob Hasbrook gets tapped. He goes up into the high groove. He's trying to hold off Eddie Gunch, but right now the challenge is for the number 1 spot. Car number 15 for Don Sharon down in the low groove, taking the lead away at least for now, but here comes Charlie Johnson charging back on the high side with car number 66. And Sharon goes around with car number 15 right in front of the leaders, and everybody gets by. Sharon has refired with the number 15, and he will pick up the tail of the field and not lose all that much ground. It's still a good shot at the qualifier, but right now it's Eddie Gunch coming up the high side, trying to take the lead away. Charlie Johnson with the 66. Down on the low side, can't quite hold him off, and it is the 51 for Ed Gunch out front.
Off at turn number 4, race leader Eddie Gunch, 4-time feature winner here in the 92 season, 4 wins as well at Orange County, a very, very powerful street stock in the 1992 season. Now stretches out the number 1 margin with CJ Charlie Johnson back there for spot number 2 right now. As Bob Hasbrook dives down on the low side, plows up, says, "How do you do, Mr. Johnson? I want the number 2 spot." Fred Madison comes along and says, "Nope, I'm taking number 3. See you later, Bob." Bob now back in spot number 4, and Tommy Lum rounding out the top 5. Spots 2, 3, and 4, really mixing it up as Fred Madison gets out of shape. Charlie Johnson goes too high. Hasbrook says, "See you later, Fred. I got spot number 3 back. I'm closing in right now on CJ as I go off of turn number 4. Charlie now gets out of the groove as Hasbrook tries to go down underneath him, and Fred Madison says, "Hello, I'm sneaking by you." Bravo, bada bing, bada boom, down in turn number 1. Well, something had to give down there.
Good night, Chuck, unable to be with us here this evening. So the brothers, Tom and Tim Hindley, playing musical cars, so to speak, down in the pit area, and they'll be in some unfamiliar cars. And Tom Perego, he will be in Mike Eggleton's number 4, so some familiar cars with unfamiliar drivers. Behind the wheel could make for an interesting night, as if last week wasn't interesting enough in the modified division. Clinch Green will be out on the event. Ed Gunch on the point. He pulled away. Many people would have tried to draw the yellow. Don pulled away, and many would have called that a bad move, but had he got a yellow, he might have been right in the midst of that mess up in turn number 1 and at the end of the main straightaway, but being as he was a little bit behind, he was able to work his way through, and now he sets second. Green flag is out on the event. It is Ed Gunch out front with the number 51. Don Sharon, Rob Hasbrook, Jeff Litz, Tom Lum. Those are your 5 qualified cars. Your only 5 cars left right now out on the racing surface, and out front it is the 51 for Ed Gunch, and he is pulling away off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Half straightaway advantage for Eddie Gunch in the number 51. Don Sharon in the number 15, and Bob Hasbrook in the 747. Your top 3 as the cars pretty much singled up around the racing surface. Off of turn number 2, it continues to be Ed Gunch to dominate the racing action down the back straightaway and into turn number 3 as the laps begin to wind down in this street stock qualifying event. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks up, and appropriately so on a frigid night here at the Accord Speedway. Down into turn number 1 goes Ed Gunch with the number 51. He is pulling away now from Don Sharon in the 15. But Sharon, who has done well for himself to work back up into a qualifying spot after spinning early in the event. Final lap around the Accord Speedway. Ed Gunch has the Master Grinding Services number 51 way out front. It's over a straightaway now as he goes into turn number 3. The 4-time feature event winner in 1991. comes off of turn number 4 to accept the checkered, and he will take down the victory. Don Sharon goes second with the number 15. Third goes Rob Hasbrook. Fourth goes Tom Lahman. Fifth will go Jeff Litz with the 18. Is Hank Katz. Along late in the event, car number 17 out of Suffield, Connecticut, the Ferrara Springworks FEB Landscaping sponsored entry for Rich Wood Jr.
Row number 2 goes to the 7X of Darrell Quackenbush and the 17X of Dave Moak.
Inside of row number 3, it's car number 13 out of Honesdale, Pennsylvania, the current point leader in this division, multi-time feature event winner in 1992, the JM Service K&N Air Filter sponsored entry for Paul Martin. Alongside of him, Gary Paganelli in car number 34, Doug Ketchum, Bill Berry, Sean Gallivan and Rick LaGrange will round out the field as we get set to go green flag racing. Randy Filipowski turns the loose and it's Rich Wood Jr. into the lead with car number 17. Hank Katz comes back on the inside, takes the lead away from Rich Wood as they go down into turn number 2 and up the back straight away. Here they come off of the 4th turn. Wood dives to the low side off of turn number 4. He takes the lead back from Hank Katz as they go down the main straightaway. Paul Martin is working up through traffic with car number 13, and Darrell Quackenbush is up to the 4th spot with the 7X. Top 4 run nose to tail off of turn number 4. It is Rich Wood to dominate the racing action off of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway.
Rich Wood swinging it sideways, heading into turn number 3 now as they go down there. Slides the back end around as he sets it up beautifully through the turns right now. Back down to number 2 spot goes the 40 of Hank Katz. Katz took a nasty ride last week in the feature event. Now begins to feel the heat for Paul Martin. Martin down on the low side, trying to take over the number 2 spot. Looks down on the low side, slips by him now, slides up out of the groove. Hank Katz rebounds back down on the low side and takes over the number 2 spot. Martin now holding on to spot number 3, Darrell Quackenbush 4th, and Gary Paganelli back in spot number 5. But Rich Wood stretching it out now as he goes between turns number 3 and 4. Half a straightaway ahead of your second place man, Hank Katz. They go down towards turn number 1 and 2.
So off from turn number 2, it is the man who started out the 1992 season Friday night racing on the pavement, who has moved to the dirt out front with his number 17, looking to take down his first win of 1992 here at the Airport Speedway. That is Rich Wood, but the challenge now is for second. Paul Martin slides the number 13 to the low side of Hank Katz, but he has quite a bit of distance to make up on the 17 of Rich Wood, and not a whole lot of time to do it in. Rich Wood comes off of turn number 2, and as he does, Paul Martin just getting into turn number 1, sliding high with the 13. Very uncharacteristically, a push for Paul Martin. Martin, who usually dominates with the handling department, not doing it here tonight. 2 laps to go. It is Rich Wood, and he has smoking him here in this heat race with car number 17. Rich Wood, Paul Martin, and Hank Katz, your top 3 as they come off of turn number 4, and except for the white flag, it is Rich Wood out front.
Final time around, quarter mile here for Rich Wood, way out front, comfortably now, stretching it out, down towards turn number 3, as Martin runs into the back of Doug Ketchum. But winner of Mini Sprint Heat number 1, very, very impressive win for the 17 of Rich Wood. Second goes to Paul Martin. Third place would be the 40 of Hank Katz. Fourth, calling off the turn number 4, the 7X of Darrell Quackenbush, and the top 5 men would be the 34 of Gary Paganelli.
And no doubt about it, he was almost half a straightaway ahead of at the checker. And Rich Wood, we know him as Rich the Rocket Wood up at the High Grove Speedway. He won 3 divisions one night at that facility out onto the racing surface. Starting on the pole, it will be car number 31 for Todd Lapp, and alongside goes car number 17 for Rich Sennett. Dennis Dillon takes the next spot with car number 78. He's out of Middletown, New York. That's the LNS Fabricating sponsored entry. Alongside of him, the Beeline Automotive Machine out of Stamford, Connecticut. That is Al Zerberini. Inside of row number 3 goes Janet Salter in car number 5, and alongside of her, Janet Salter, she's out of Stroudsburg, New York. That's the Klooping Competition sponsored entry. Next on the field goes car number 1 for Buddy Holland. The 65 for Rich Eisinger goes next, and then it will be car number 72 for Jerry Higbee. He is a longtime modified competitor down at the Orange County Fair Speedway. He's behind the wheel of that car number 72 here tonight. cars scheduled to take the green flag. Currently, all 9 have made an appearance on the racing surface. Clinch Green will be up to the field, and in fact is up to the field, this time by Todd Lapp. Evidently has opted to start at the rear of the field, so that will move Rich Sennett up onto the pole with the 17. And Gary Carl up alongside of him with the number 34L. Or Robbie Carl, correction. And we know it's his birthday, even if we can't seem to get his name right up here. Robbie Carl celebrating a birthday here today, and he's looking to move into the dash for cash and get a birthday present from the fans here tonight. Looking for the green off of turn number 4. Randy Phillips turns him loose. It is Rich Sennett out into the number 1 spot with car number 17. But here comes Al Zerberini and Robbie Carl, and Robbie Carl makes a nice move on Zerberini off of turn number 2. They work down the back straightaway towards the 3rd turn. Hot spot is for the number 2 position. Here comes Al Zerberini down to the low side. He takes spot number 2 away. He's got his sights set on the leader. He wants to get into that dash for cash. Currently running in 2nd. He would do that if he finished there right now. But he's got his eyes set on the number 1 spot. Al Zerberini out front, or currently in 2nd, working on the leader. Rich Sennett with car number 17 as they go down into the 1st turn. Nose to tail for the number 1 position. Rich Sennett looking good here tonight with car number 17. Then it is Al Zerberini, Robbie Carl, the 1 of Buddy Holland, the 78 of Dennis Dillon, your top 5. Down to the front straightaway, into turn number 2 now. Rich Sennett trying to hold off the challenges of Al Zerberini with the number 147. Zerberini trying to close up with that machine. He appears to be a little better down the straightaways, but Rich Sennett is getting him through the turns with car number 17. That's the battle, handling versus horsepower. You can see Zerberini slip up off of turn number 2 as we've got the halfway mark up on the event this time by. Sennett, Al Zerberini, now Robbie Carl and Buddy Holland dice it up for the number 1 spot. Or for the number 3 spot, correction. Number 1 of Buddy Holland, the 34L of Robbie Carl. Nose to tail for the 1st spot. Top 2 cars set to make the move into tonight's mini sprint dash for cash as we have currently just about gone over that $100 mark for the fans' choice race here tonight. And trouble in turn number 4. We have a car upside down. Rick Eisinger upside down with the number 65. He appeared to have a problem. And he's up on his wheels. He appears to be moving around in the automobile. Hopefully he is okay. Number 2. Robbie Carl getting a push from the vehicle we have appropriately named the Thing here at the Accord Speedway. Still wouldn't be surprised if we got a Thing Enduro going here sometime down the road a couple of years. About 40 of the Things going around the Speedway all at the same time with no yellow flag. Here at the Accord Speedway. Old man Winter trying to knock on the door, but we're not going to let him in for a few more weeks anyway. Getting set to go green flag racing. Rich Sennett, Al Zerberini set to bring him around. Green flag out on the field. And it's the 17 of Rich Sennett to lead him down into turn number 1. He is followed by Al Zerberini, who takes a look at the low side off of the 2nd turn. He thinks better of the move and comes his number 147 back in neatly behind the 17 of Rich Sennett. And now Sennett beginning to pull away just a bit from Al Zerberini.
Rich Sennett hangs on to the number 1 spot. Al Zerberini in the Beeline Automotive, number 147, holds on to spot number 2. As Jerry Higbee now gets by the 1 of Buddy Holland, takes over spot number 4. Now got a sight set on Robbie Carl. Higbee, a regular campaigner in the modified division in Orange County, bringing the mini sprint out for the first time here in the 92 season. Looking pretty good now as he hangs on to spot number 4. Robbie Carl, the birthday boy, just ahead of him. White flag set to fly for Rich Sennett. Out front right now, very, very comfortably. Al Zerberini right behind it. Higbee now takes over spot number 3. Jerry Higbee on out of Middletown, New York. Spot number 3, Robbie Carl, 4th and 5th. Goes to Buddy Holland, but off of turn number 4, checkered flag flies. The winner, the 17, Rich Bennett. Second goes to Al Zerberini. Third, Jerry Higbee. Fourth, Robbie Carl. And fifth, Buddy Holland.
That is Steve Walsh.
Go to Tyler Jr.
Inside of row number 3 goes car number 22. Sponsors look about the same for Doug Tyler Sr. And alongside, it's the fall fittings entry, car number 55 for Rich Ricci Jr.
Row number 4 goes to the 77B of Bruce Warnicki Jr. And outside of him, driving car number 76 this evening will be Timmy Hindley.
Car number 357 out of Riverdale, New Jersey. And he's back for more. It is Gary Huber, and we certainly wish him better luck this week. Can't get any worse than it was last week. And alongside goes the 47 of Jim Brokel. And correction on that, that will be the 44 out of Accord, New York. The round out Grocers, Ron's Auto Repair, number 44 for Ron Santoski. Low Presti 76 machine. Joe Labonte and Steve Walsh set to take Randy Filipowski's green flag. Looking for the green off of turn number 4. A good side-by-side start, and it is Steve Walsh with the advantage down into turn number 1. He kept the momentum up and got a good jump on the field, but here comes Doug Tyler Sr. Rich Ricci moving through traffic trouble. Gary Huber and Tim Hindley getting together, but each of them keep it in the right direction. Thankfully enough, as they go down into turn number 1, it is Steve Walsh and Doug Tyler side by side for the number 1 spot. Here comes Tyler up the inside. Steve Walsh trying to hang in the high groove as they go into turn number 3. Side by side, down the main straightaway for the number 1 spot. Steve Walsh holding off the charges of Doug Tyler.
This time, Walsh slams into on Tyler. Tyler tries to work his way, forces his way up to the inside. Backs out of it this time, going into turn number 3. Walsh now slips out of the groove. Tyler once again down on the left side. Not able to muster up the horsepower to slide by it. This dicing and slicing allows Rich Ricci Jr. to close in very, very quickly. Back there at spot number 3. Tyler glued to the back bumper, swings it up to the high side. Now keeps it up there with Walsh holding a fine groove, but the caution flag comes out around the speedway. Ron Santoski over in turn number 2, having problems with the Rondell Groceries Ron's Auto Repair short transmission Morel Racing number 44. Multi-time feature winner in the 92 season. Rich Ricci Jr. back there in spot number 3 as well, with a lot of feature wins here in the 92 season. Tim Hindley back in the driving chores tonight behind the wheel of the Chuckle Presti number 76, back in the final transfer spot, spot number 5.
Steve Walsh out front, but if he looks to the side of him, he's got Doug Tyler. If he looks in the mirror, he's got Rich Ricci. Either way, he knows he's going to have competition. Green flag out on the event. Doug Tyler trying to inch up into the lead. Here they go. They take it deep into turn number 1. Doug Tyler takes the lead away. Walsh slips up. Rich Ricci goes motoring on through with the number 55. Nose to tail for the number 1 spot. Rich Ricci trying to close up on the 22 of Doug Tyler. Meanwhile, Walsh having a hard time getting hooked up. He tangles with Doug Tyler Jr., but both are able to continue and remain in qualified positions. Out front, it is the 22 for Doug Tyler Sr. Closing up quickly is the 55 of Rich Ricci Jr. Third, it is Steve Walsh. Fourth, it is Doug Tyler Jr. And the final transfer spot right now, the R17 of Joe Labonte.
Off of turn number 4, Doug Tyler Sr. holds on to the number 1 spot. Rich Ricci Jr. trying to chase him down as they go between turns 1 and 2. Tyler holding a fine groove through the turn, slips up just a little bit off of turn number 2. Ricci keeps the momentum up. Now, right there, off of turn number 4, they go for spot number 2. Now, Doug Tyler Jr. takes over spot number 3 away from Steve Walsh. Walsh now falls back to spot number 4. Got a rear panel swinging in the breeze over there in turn number 1 and 2. With Timmy Hindley back in spot number 5. Now, lap traffic coming into play as Doug Tyler Sr. and Rich Ricci Jr. work by 8 laps down, 2 to go.
doubt about it. The spot is for the battle is for the number 1 spot as Rich Ricci trying to move to the inside of Doug Tyler. Here they come off of turn number 4. You can see Ricci set up high. Now he dives low with 1 lap to go. The move comes up short, but there's one more time to get around the Accord Speedway. Doug Tyler with the pressure being applied by Rich Ricci. Checkered flag will fly on the event. Here they come to the line. Who will it be? Rich Ricci dives down low. Here they come to the checker. Doug Tyler holds on with the number 22. Then it is Rich Ricci in second. Third goes Doug Tyler Jr. Fourth goes the 213 for Steve Walsh. And fifth goes Gary Huber with the 357. Second modified division heat race set.
Davis.
Tom Borrego and Craig Behringer set to bring him around. Looking for the green off of turn number 4. Then it's Tommy Hindley in that number 11. He's opted to start right up in the middle of the field in a race car he's never sat in before. Out into the lead goes Tom Borrego with the number 4. Then it's Craig Behringer, Tom Hindley, and Don Elliott, your top 4. Then Barry Davis trying to move into 4th now. He takes the low side. Here he goes with the 97. Barry Davis working up through traffic. He is into 4th, looking to challenge for the 3rd spot. He is underneath Tom Hindley. He moves into 3rd spot and is challenging Craig Behringer for 2nd. Barry Davis on a roll. He moves into 2nd and is beginning to close on the leader already. Borrego out front with car number 4, followed by Barry Davis as they look down the front straightaway and into turn number 1.
Barry Davis, very, very quick here this evening, picking up where he left off last week. Feature winner. Now closing in very, very quickly on Tom Borrego. Borrego in an unfamiliar ride. The rookie load riding 4E. Hangs on to the number 1 spot, but now Davis dives down the low side up at turn number 2. Not able to muster up the horsepower this time. Now dives in hard down on the low side of turn number 3. Once again, Borrego still able to fend off the challenges. Craig Behringer back there in spot number 3, quick, into spot number 4. And Tommy Hindley rounding out the top 5. So Tom Borrego running a masterful groove so far, holding off the hard charges Barry Davis as they head down into turn number 3. Borrego now having some handling problems, slips out of the groove. Davis down to the low side. Once again, Borrego holds them off. Time will tell now. Will he be able to hold him up again? Doesn't look like it as Barry Davis powers away down to the low side, drives it in hard into turn number 3, and grabs the number 1 spot away. Borrego now rebounds back down to the low side by side, the number 1 spot up for grabs into turn number 1.
Northeast dirt track modified, short track style at the Accord Speedway at its absolute finest right now as they dice it up for the number 1 spot. Barry Davis and Tom Borrego side by side, lap after lap, battling for spot number 1, just the way it should be. Now it is Borrego down to the low groove, trying to take the spot away from Barry Davis. Davis rebounds on the high groove, back into the number 1 spot, but here comes Borrego, challenging low again. 2 laps to go, battle for the lead. Blipwicks is closing, but time is on the side of the leaders. Out front, it continues to be Barry Davis. Now Borrego falling off just a little bit as the white flag is set to wave. 1 lap to go. Final time around the Accord Speedway, and it is the number 97 team for Barry Davis, who made just a brilliant drive through traffic and took the number 1 spot away, had to take it away several times from the 4 of Tom Borrego. Checkered flag up, it will be Barry Davis, your winner. Tom Borrego 2nd, Blipwicks 3rd, battle is for 4th. Craig Behringer trying to hold on. It appears as though he will. Behringer goes 4th, and then it will be Tommy Hindley in 5th in the number 11. Down in front of the announcer's booth here, standing now in the black jacket, that is Roscoe Pappy Huff here with us tonight in that black jacket right in front of, he's got over 1,000 victories as a driver plus 2,500 as a car owner. Add that up, folks. That man working his way down the stairs there, headed to the starter's stand, responsible for over 3,500 victories over the years. There he is, Roscoe Pappy Huff, making his way up onto the starter's stand. Give him a nice round of applause here at the Accord Speedway. And I'll tell tell you what, this group, the Atlanta more. And currently, we'll give you the list of cars we have. Car number 43, that is Lou Frey, Harry Eckert. Edmunds Midget from 1960, he is car number 4. Boyd Hanover in a 1937 Ford. Car number 57 is Bill Pendley. That's a 1947 Midget facility. It was where the Southern New York Racing Association raced one of their early speedways. Of course, they originally started at Valhalla, New York, moved to the Danbury Race Arena, and ended up at the Thompson International Speedway. As we mentioned, Brewster, a very interesting speedway. It had no walls. So the way it worked, when you parked your whole vehicle, you took your car off it, you moved out onto the outside of the racetrack, and the whole vehicles became the wall. A good incentive for everybody to stay out of the wall. If you got through the whole vehicles, up in the third turn, there was about a 30-foot drop-off. So quite interesting in the early days of modified racing out of Brewster, New York. To inform the race fans who were looking for Trackside Magazine down at the concession stand, if you have waited this long, you have waited too long. The feature story on Accord sold out here at the Accord Speedway tonight, and we thank all of you who want you to please take a look, see where they are. We have a few of them under the grandstands. We would not like this situation to continue, so if your child is under the grandstand, please remove them at this time. Happy Huff, getting the field lined up. Next year, well, not all of the drivers of these things have retired quite yet. Of course, we mentioned as we've got the green flag out on the event, green flag out, Happy Huff turning the field loose. We mentioned, of course, the Brewster, New York Speedway. A gentleman who got his start there, Big Ed Pierce, as he was known. He raced for over 30 years at the Danbury Race Arena. He currently runs for the point lead. I believe he's just about 10 or 15 points out of it over at Sullivan County in the modified division. 63 years young and still winning features in modifieds is Ed Pierce. But right now, we've got the ACOT Old Timers Association out on the racing surface here at the Accord Speedway. Currently putting on a demonstration for you here tonight. Out front, it is the number 7 of Boyd Hanover. And he is being challenged by the number 56 of John Haight. They are side by side. Down into turn number 4. Coming off the 4th turn and down the front straightaway. They continue side by side. Haight in the lead, but now Hanover trying to take it back away. Third, it is the 69 of Ken Gibson. And fourth, it is the number 1. And we don't have a sign-in on that machine. We'll be unable to pass the driver along to you. Out front, it is the 56 of John Haight. Up on the outside, they run side by side into turn number 3. Beginning to work into lap traffic. White flag displayed on the event. They diced it up one more time for the lead. Side by side for that number 1 spot. Down into turn number 1. And now it is the number 7 of Boyd Hanover, who is working very well through lap traffic, threading the needle. He is out front, looking to take the checkered flag. But that number 56 for John Haight, not out of it yet. The checkered flag is up, and Boyd Hanover wins the event. Or what? Oh, yes. No doubt about it. And Rick, starting to show my age a little here. I can remember the cars when they were like this. 2, of course, they are a bit noisy, a bit noisier than we can really have here, so we brought them to the pit area quite quickly. Just wanted to give you a taste of the old modified.
Okay, go on. I didn't know
The
it.
Johnson Ford Accord Speedway pace car leads
Just
the
the
field
lap?
around. Clinch green up from Randy Filipowski.
Holy smoke.
Looking for the green off of turn number 4. Green flag set to fly on the event. Randy Filipowski turns him loose. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Paul Martin takes it in 3 deep and gets the lead away from Rich Sennett. Here comes Al Zerberini and Rich Wood motoring on through, and we've got all 4 cars in the battle for the lead. Rich Wood is on rails with car number 17. He moves into second, but he'll have to run down the always strong Paul Martin with car number 13. Martin out front, and now Al Zerberini comes up through traffic, but will they battle for second? The 13 of Paul Martin pulling away, and they won't have long to battle as this is just a 5-lap event, and it is Paul Martin in the number 1 spot with car number 13. He made a good move on the first lap and has taken the number 1 spot away and begins to pull away.
Rich Wood now does battle with Al Zerberini for spot number 2. Wood down on the low side. Very impressive heat victory earlier. Now secures the number 2 spot. Zerberini on the rebound, back down to the low side. Side by side for spot number 2. Zerberini grabs it back in the nick of time. Wood trying to work it over off of turn number 4. Paul Martin very, very comfortably out in the number 1 position. The battle going on for spot number 2. Dual checker flags fly for your 4-lap, 5-lap dash for cash victor, the 13 of Paul Martin. Second goes to Al Zerberini. Third to Rich Wood, and fourth, Rich Sennett. So Paul Martin back in a spot where he's been many, many, many times in the 92 season, back down there in victory lane, picking up the victory this evening in the 5-lap Fans' Choice Dash for Cash, bringing it back down into victory lane. And Scott Harvey making his way down trackside to catch a couple of quick words.
And Paul Martin getting to be very familiar with this spot here on the Accord Speedway. We've got him out of the car now. Paul Martin, he wins tonight's Dash for Cash. 2 for 2 in Dash for Cashes this year for you, Mr. Martin, and you must be awful happy about that.
Yeah, we're thrilled. We're having a little bit of problems tonight, and we got past our adversity, and half my crew is not here tonight. Some are out in Montana, some are home, and when you put the 4 best guys out on the track for 4 laps, it gets exciting. We took a chance down low and work for us, and just glad to be here in the winner's circle.
And there he is, tonight's Dash for Cash winner. And you can bet he'll be tough in the feature. Paul Martin, car number 13.
For 12 was the number 3 man in the final point rundown in the rookie division at Orange County Fair Speedway this year with 4 feature wins. So a very powerful car. Got around pretty good in the earlier heat events. 20 laps will tell the tale.
And Rick, we will give the Street Stocks the send-off here tonight. It's time to go racing here at the Accord Speedway Street Stock feature event out on the racing surface. Side by side in rows of 2 behind the Accord Speedway pace car. Hyde Park Auto Tech has donated $100 in free machine work to the 7th place finisher of tonight's event. We are just about set to go, the Street Stock division. In rows of 2, a final check of the gauges, a last tightening of the belts, one last look to make sure everything is okay before it's green and go here at the Accord Speedway. Pace laps winding down, feverish pit work going on in the Tom Cannizzaro pit, trying to get the number 73 out onto the racing surface. In rows of 2, they address the starter. 2 courtesy laps will be issued on the Tom Cannizzaro 73. If he is not able to make it in 2 laps, time will run out on the current point leader. Very important points race. He is about to make his way out onto the racing surface, or so we have been told, and in the nick of time, because the courtesy laps have been expired, and we can see the pit man telling him to hold off. He will to join at the tail of the field, but it appears as though points leader Tom Cannizzaro will be able to tag on at the end, and just in the nick of time, green flag set to fly. Dan Conklin and Joey Caruso Jr. set to bring him around. Green flag, set to fly. Canizero at the last possible second comes out of the pit. He'll have to hurry to catch the back of the field. Green flag out on the event. Trouble in turn one there, 3, 4 wide. Hasbrook and Sharon get together. Everybody gets through okay. And Ed Gunch is rocketing through traffic with car number 51. Out front, the battle is for the lead between Dan Conklin and Joey Caruso. Here comes Pat Kelly, Ed Gunch, and Steve Smalley. They're your top 5. The points leader, Canizero, you can see they've been at work. The hood not on that machine. Evidently, some kind of major mechanical problem befell the number 73 at the end of that heat race. But right now, out front, it is the 222 of Dan Conklin. Battling for the 4th spot now. The 3rd spot, correction, is Pat Kelly in the 27 and Ed Gunch in the 51. Gunch to the high side, almost runs out of racetrack. It is the 222 of Dan Conklin. Then it is the 44 of Joe Caruso. Here comes Pat Kelly. Ed Gunch up to the high side with car number 51. He moves down the back straightaway. We're closing up on the leaders. Tommy Canizero has pulled to the infield. The points leader in trouble with car number 73.
So Dan Conklin hanging on to the number 1 spot right now, impressively pulling away from Joey Caruso, who hangs on to spot number 2. Eddie Gunch now begins to work over second place man Caruso between turns 3 and 4. Caruso has the number 2 spot. Gunch trying to find a way to get by him. Had him on the high side, backed out of it, looked down low. Still, not enough swoop underneath the hood this time to try and sweep by him, going down the front straightaway. Gunch now tries the low side off of turn number 2. Caruso gets hung out to dry up on the high side between turns 3 and 4. Gunch now grabs the number 2 spot away, and Bill Lease, the benefactor of that move by Caruso. Lease takes over spot number 3, Caruso 4th, and Pat Kelly. Rounding out the top 5 as back markers now going to come into play as race leader Dan Conklin works by Jeff Blitz. No problem this time. Gunch, a master in traffic, closing in very, very quickly.
Ed Gunch closing up. Looks like he's got quite a bit of slump under the hood as he is closing on the leader. I don't know where Rick came up with that word, but we'll use it anyway. Down the back straightaway, Dan Conklin out front, but they're going into lap traffic. Here comes Ed Gunch and Bill Lease. And if Dan Conklin wants his first win of the 92 season, he will have to hold off 2 of the division's front runners, both feature event winners in 1992. Here they come into traffic. Conklin playing the lap traffic masterfully. Here comes Ed Gunch in the 51, and you can see Dan Conklin knows how to work through lap traffic as well, and Bill Lease, the always aggressive Charger, coming up the outside, tried to make a move to the inside, but he found lap traffic in the way. They are about to work into very heavy lap traffic, and Ed Gunch will have to make a move now if he is to try and make one on open racetrack. Here comes Bill Lease. He sees the lap traffic. He's by Gunch trying to take the lead away. Bill Lease can't make the move and loses the spot to Ed Gunch. Here they come into traffic. Top 3 battling for the number 1 spot in double file lap traffic. Halfway event marker will be up on the event. Ed Gunch to the inside in traffic. Takes the lead away from Dan Conklin, but will it hold up? Only time will tell as they come into double file lap traffic. Bill Lease working through now. Top 3 in double file now. 3 deep lap traffic. The leaders tangle. Here comes Dan Conklin trying to take the lead back. Here they go down the back straightaway. Ed Gunch rolls the dice and comes up bumpers.
Well, I've heard him call a lot of things, but bumpers he's not. Hanging on to the number 1 spot is what he is. Down the front straightaway. Trying to find a way to work through the lap traffic right now. Fred Madison down to his low side and Lane Kravinsky right ahead of him. And Bill Lease got 25 years of racing experience working down his finest so far here this evening as we've got one around down in turn number 4. Jeff Blitz has a right rear flat tire. Everybody trying to get through. Bill Lease threads the needle, slices and dices down the front straightaway. Gunch tries to answer the call, keeps it up on the high side. Lease hangs on to the number 1 spot. They're hooked together over in turn number 2. Look out! Problems down the back straightaway. Eddie Gunch able to keep going. Well, a very, very exciting lap indeed. Lap number 13.
Conklin gets through as well. Dan Conklin with the 222. The question, did Ed Gunch stop on the racing surface? If he did stop on the racing surface, we would have to, there would be a call made, but we are waiting to see. Of course, I'm the announcer, not the flag man, so don't get any wrong ideas from me. Dan Conklin made it through with the 222. He did a great job, as did Joey Caruso. Ed Gunch and Bill Lease were in 3 wide lap traffic. You could almost see it coming. They were dicing and swapping for the lead. They get together, and we'll wait for the call. They appear to be checking the number 51 of Ed Gunch to make sure it is race-worthy. Ed Gunch appears to be being pointed to the infield, and the number 3 points man is on the infield. It looks as though they're going to try and remove that dangling sheet metal from the Ed Gunch 51. Desperately to get out here tonight, did make the feature and at least get what will looks like it will be last place points. Ed Gunch in trouble, the number 3 points man in the infield, and Bill Lease now at the back of the pack in the late stages. He's the number 2 points man. And out front, Dan Conklin looking for his first feature event win. But it will be a long ride from the back of the pack for Ed Gunch if he is to overtake him, or Pat Kelly, or Bill Lease. Steve Smalley, and nobody in the top 5 has a feature event win this year. The only winner at all, Don Sharon in the 15, took down a Dash for Cash win a few weeks back. So very possibly a new winner here tonight. To go, nobody in the top 5 has won a feature event this year. They'd all like it. But right now, eyes will be focused on the back of the pack. The number 1 and 3 point men trying desperately, number 2 and 3 point men trying desperately to come up through. The number 1 point man sitting on the infield, and perhaps the biggest benefactor runs in second spot. Steve Smalley is your number 4 points man. And with 1, 2, and 3 in trouble here tonight and appearing to be fading, Steve Smalley looking good in second place right now. Clinch Green will be up to the field, and we are past halfway, so it will be even a little more distance to cover, as it will be a single file restart. Clinch Green up to the field. Dan Conklin, Steve Smalley, Joey Caruso, Don Sharon, and I believe Butch Winnie would be the 5th place if he is on the lead lap. Jeff Hyham in the 19 being scored as the 5th place automobile right now. Green flag out on the event. Dan Conklin out front with the number 2 with 22. Followed by the 22X of Steve Smalley. Then it's Joey Caruso and Don Sharon. Top 4 begin to distance themselves from the field. Hyham trying to come up through lap traffic. That number 19, he is your 5th place automobile. Number 117 is dragging some sheet metal. He will try to pull to the infield. Ed Gunch trying to get around him. Now he has moved to the low groove. Kevin LeClaire will pull to the infield now off of turn number 4. We remain under green. Out front, it is Dan Conklin in the 222, but Steve Smalley trying to put the moves to him, and now Smalley sideways off of turn 4. Top 4, dicing and swapping for the number 1 position. Here comes Don Sharon up the outside, and Joey Caruso battling for the 3rd spot. Off of turn number 4, and Ed Gunch to the infield. With car number 51, the hood is loose. Yellow flag will be displayed. Debris on the racing surface. There's a bumper in turn 2. And Bill Lease has moved back into the top 5 with car number J26 as he is charging from the rear of the field. And
Rick up near the front, fending off the challenges for about the first 7 laps, first 10 laps of Ed Gunch, and Bill Lease is right behind him. He's still up there. He's hanging in there. 16 laps down, only 4 to go. Steve Smalley right behind him. Don Sharon, Joey Caruso. Top 4 men, not yet point feature winners. Let's wait and see what happens. 16 laps down, 4 to go. Green flag flies right now for Dan Conklin. Off of turn number 4 down into turn number 1. Very, very smooth through the turns, running a fine groove. Don Sharon and Steve Smalley now slicing and dicing off of turn number 2, mixing it up for spot number 2. Sharon now backs out just a little bit, fades back to spot number 3. Works down to the low side once again as Bill Lease comes over turn number 4. He's hooked bumpers with the 41 of Mike Weed. Problems down the front straightaway with Bill Lease once again as the caution flag comes out around the Speedway.
So now only the top 6 cars, I do believe, on the lead lap. Bill Lease would be shown as unofficially 6th, and the final car on the lead lap. it, top 4 cars on the lead lap. Now, Pat Kelly has worked, and correction, Bob Hasbrook is 5th. He is shown on the lead lap. The 747 of Hasbrook being unofficially scored on the lead lap. But out front, no doubt about who that is, that's the 222 for Dan Conklin. He is out front and looking for his first feature event win, and he may be just 2 laps away. 2 to go. And it is Dan Conklin out front, and as they battle for second, he's got some breathing room.
He's falling, now beginning to run out of time. Off of turn number 2, about a 4-car length. Behind him right now is the number 15 of Don Sharon, running at spot number 3. Off of turn number 4, the white flag flies. 4 more left-hand turns in the Conklin race at 222 of Dan Conklin. Might come home with his first feature win. Very smoothly through turns number 1 and 2 they go. Down the back straightaway, ever so cautiously, ever so graciously between turn 3 and 4. He swings it off at turn number 4. Sees the dual checkered flag flying for Dan Conklin. Second place goes to Steve Smalley. Third to Don Sharon. Fourth to Joey Caruso. And rounding out the top 5, charges back of the back to J26 of Bill Lease. So in a very, very exciting and interesting street stock feature event here. 20 laps now in the history books. Got just about as many cars down in the infield area as we do that have finished the race. But coming home for the first time ever here in the 1992 season, the feature winner, the 222 of Dan Conklin. We're led by Dan Conklin, but the most important one was the 20th lap. Your feature winner down into victory lane, Scott Harvey, standing down trackside. Going to catch a couple of quick words with our feature winner, Dan Conklin.
We've got Dan Conklin, a very happy Dan Conklin, up on the roof of the car. And we'll get him around and talk to him quickly here in victory lane as he gets his first win of the 1992 season. Here we've got him in victory lane, the first win of the season for Dan Conklin.
They're roaring back. Jurassic Park 3 with react attack sounds. They fight and roar like never before. The all-terrain trapper is built to hunt, trap, and survive wrecks. You can look for the mark of Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park 3. Dinos and vehicles sold separately.
Nestle Wonder Boy has new Disney surprises. Mikey's candy shake and a tattoo. It's always a surprise. Nestle Wonder Boy. It's candy and chocolate and a prize in a box.
Would you stop eating all the hot bites? Where'd he go? Whoa, Tony Hawk. New Hot Bites from Bagel Bites. 6 hot new snacks you'll love. Like chewy cheesy blast, crammed with pepperoni and pizza sauce.
Excuse me, Mr. Hawk. Could you, share? No way.
New Hot Bites. They're hot.
The Power Rangers are nowhere to be found. At last, all of time is mine. Wait, I hear them.
Battle race!
There they are.
Morphin time! Chrono Saber attack!
They're too big to defeat.
Time for Time Force!
They're just too powerful.
Time to battle!
Yeah!
Cancel mission!
New 12-inch talking Ultra Power Rangers. Each sold separately from Bandai.
Michelle Branch, The Spirit Room, her debut album. Michelle Branch, The Spirit Room, featuring everywhere. In stores now.
Driving is a big responsibility, one that deserves your full attention. But a distracted driver is a factor in 1 out of every 4 automobile collisions. Don't let food, friends, or a phone call endanger your life. Stay focused and stay alive. Learn to avoid driving's most dangerous distractions from this book. It's free from Shell. Count on Shell.
Thank you for your assistance. The battle is going well. Blue team is currently in the lead. Here is an additional code that will upgrade your looks. Good luck.
This Friday on CCF, Time Squad has hosting duties. Where are we again? Ancient China or something? And we've got everyone's favorite duo of doom. No pie for you. Grim and Evil. Then on an all-new Time Squad, join Otto, Larry, and Ty Russell as they travel back to the past to preserve the future. History class was never this much fun, so join Time Squad this Friday at 8 for Cartoon Friday, only on Cartoon Network.
I'm making you both my students from this day forward. I can't let you hurt people. Real. My turn.
I just love fighting.
On the last episode of Dragon Ball, Goku together. The adventure continues as they speed headlong into the unknown.
Oh my God, I just saw a snake. That ought to tide us over until dinner.
That is so disgusting, Goku. You don't want to gross people out. You're going to have to stop eating frogs and snakes and things.
Really?
To do so, of course, it is sponsors and fans that make racing at every track in the country, and if they work together, it works out even better. Looking to go Green Flag Racing. Paganelli and Ketchum set to bring around the green flag up on the event. 3 wide down the front straightaway already. Al Zerberini almost gets in trouble. He got into the 34 of Paganelli, and now Zerberini comes flying up through contact again, and Hank Katz for the second week in a row upside down. This time it's in the back straightaway. Red flag displayed on the car, replacing the one he KO'd last week. We certainly hope that
start-finish. Getting ready to head up to Syracuse in a couple of weeks as a guaranteed starter in the small block race up there, taking in the action here this evening. Kirk just said, told me I was his #1 fan. He's standing down here in the front stretch, taking in the action this evening, so just wanted to say hi to Kirk. As the mini sprints get themselves all straightened out, we're getting ready to go racing here in just a moment.
Pair of 17s on the pole. That is Rich Sennett and Rich Wood. And it would appear, of course, that we have a few adjustments to make in the restarting lineup. And now Al Zerberini has dropped off the pace. We had everything right. Well, we had it right for a minute, but looking to go green flag racing off of turn number 4. Caution lights have been extinguished around the racing surface. Green flag flies on the event. Rich Sennett out into the lead. Rich Wood slow off the start, backs up a couple of spots with car number 17. But it's another 17, and that would be Rich Sennett, who is out front right now, followed by Robbie Carl. Rich Wood moving back up into third with the number 17. And trying to work through traffic. But Rich Sennett making a real strong run for his first win of the 1992 season. Paul Martin trying to work up through traffic, as is Al Zerberini now. But out front, it continues to be the 17 of Rich Sennett, and he is way out front with that machine. Almost a full straightaway ahead of Robbie Carl and Rich Wood. Wood now appears to have a bit of a handling problem through turns 1 and 2 as he backed way off the 34 of Robbie Carl going in and through that turn, and now it is Rich Sennett to dominate the racing action.
Paul Martin and Al Zerberini work themselves through the field. Martin now in the top 5 running order. Back in spot number 5. Got his stake set on the 72 of Jerry Higbee. Higbee back in spot number 4 right now. Feels the heat from Martin. Martin dives down to the low side. Takes over spot number 4. Working here this evening. Up to spot number 4 goes Paul Martin. Way out front right now goes the 17 of Rich Sennett. Dennis Dillon drops off the pace. Car 78 into the infield area. Robbie Carl in the runner-up position. Holds on to spot number 2. With Paul Martin now beginning to mix it up with the 17 of Rich Wood. Wood hangs on to spot number 3. Martin dives down low into turn number 3 and grabs that position away. Rich Wood now back to spot number 4 and Jerry Higbee rounding out the top 5. Rich Wood drops off the pace, heading down into turn number 1. Problems as Higbee and Zerberini both get by him. Wood down the back stretch, slowing drastically.
Laps beginning to tick away here. Paul Martin trying to make a bid for the second spot, and Rich Wood goes to the infield. Now Paul Martin slows down the back straightaway. Martin trying to work through traffic, but appears to have some type of a handling problem, and now has a mechanical problem. Paul Martin on the infield. Not a good night to be the points leader. So out front, it is the 17 for Rich Sennett. And Sennett with a full straightaway lead on Robbie Carl, and it's Al Zerberini who has worked masterfully back up through traffic. In heavy lap traffic now is the 17 for Rich Sennett. He's got a full straightaway on Robbie Carl and Al Zerberini. That's your top 3. And got a couple of rounds. Somehow the leader is able to thread through. Al Zerberini finds a most unique line through the traffic. It is Buddy Holland and Dave Moak. Al Zerberini went first extremely high, then extremely low at about 5 miles an hour down there on the infield. None of them are bent. They all have come unglued, so to speak. And just a few cars left on.
So it looks as though we will have a first-time feature winner for the second time here this evening, as Dan Conklin picked up his first victory of the year in the Street Stock Division. Rich Sennett back on the number 1 spot right now, running very, very strong here this evening. Holds on to the number 1 spot right now, not yet a feature winner, as well as birthday boy Robbie Carl. Al Zerberini's third. Jerry Higbee, very impressive first evening here at the Accord Speedway in the 92 season. In the Higbee brothers owned number 72, feature win, picking up the ride here in the first time in the 92 season in a mini sprint. So the track is now clear. Green flag set to fly once again. 10 laps down, 5 to go. Rich Sennett grabs the number 1 spot down into turn number 1. Al Zerberini been working hard all night long. Hangs on to spot number 3. Got his work cut out for him now as the first 4 cars all separated evenly. In between turns 3 and 4, off of 4. Sennett hangs on to about a 5-car length advantage over Robbie Carl. Carl in the runner-up position as Al Zerberini not able to close the gap. He closes in as they go into the turns. Not handling as well as he'd like to between the turns, enough to close the gap. This time swings it up to the high side, dives back down to the low side. The high-low shuffle is on for the runner-up position. Al Zerberini takes away spot number 2. Robbie Carl back in third, and Jerry Higbee in spot number 4. The race leader, Rich Sennett, sees the 13-lap sign. 2 to go.
Final 2 circuits around the Accord Speedway, and it is Rich Sennett out front with the number 17. Al Zerberini appears to be closing up a bit, but time is not on his side as there's just 1 lap to go. Rich Sennett may be just 4 turns away from his first victory of 1992. He goes down the back straightaway. Zerberini is closing up, but time is going to run out on the veteran Al Zerberini. Rich Sennett will win the event with car number 17.
Rich Sennett secures the dual checkers. Al Zerberini second. Robbie Carl comes home at third. Jerry Higbee back in spot number 4. And coming off of turn number 4, top 5 finish for the 11 of 5 up Janet Salter. Well, Janet Salter brings up the top 5 runners. So is all your number 1 man at points, Paul Martin, dropping out. Al Zerberini came home in spot number 2, able to pick up a good amount of points on him here this evening. But down into victory lane for the first time, climbing out of the car, winner of the 1200cc mini sprint feature event, the 17 of Rich Sennett. As Scott Harvey makes his way down the treacherous steps onto trackside, he's going to come over and chat.
They've got him out of the car. Good night for first-time winners, and first-time winner here tonight on the 1992 season, Rich Ricci, driver of car number 17. And Rich, you took advantage of some high attrition, but you were looking awful strong out there anyway with car number 17. Got to be happy about that first win tonight.
Oh yeah, very happy. Been waiting for this for a long time.
And there must be a whole lot of good people on this car that you want to thank for their efforts.
Yeah, just Randy Caruso, that's about it.
Tonight, the modified division, 18 cars strong, set to take the green here at the Accord Speedway. Checking the starting lineup to be sure that it is correct as the wind kicking up. We will look to get the clinch green. The infield. Craig Behringer and Ron Santowski set to bring the field around. Looking for the green, off of turn number 4. Craig Behringer set to bring him around. Randy Filipowski stares him down. Looking for the green flag. It is out. We are racing here at Accord. It's Ron Santowski out into the lead. Here comes the 213 of Steve Walsh up to the high side. He tries to take the second spot away. Gets tagged, but gets into the second spot nonetheless. And we've got a car around in turn number 1. Yellow flag will fly. And now Walsh gets tangled up, but the yellow flag is out already for a spin in turn 1, and we will double them back up. And Rick, I hope we're not going to say it again. Here we go again tonight. Hopefully last week was enough of that.
Well, last week was definitely an interesting evening of racing. So far this evening in both of the feature events, we've had first-time winners, as has already been mentioned, but we've also had used car lots in the infield at the end of both feature events. Number 4 right now. He was your pole setter. As assistant starter, Craig Lynch getting a workout here this evening down on the track. Getting all the cars there that he's having overheating problems, so he's going to take it back into the pit area. That's going to put Craig Behringer back up on the number 1 spot, with Tom Perrigo outside of him.
Looking for the clinch green. Steve Walsh questioning his starting position. He belongs in the 4th spot. Craig Behringer and Tom Perrigo set to bring him around. Field coming up to speed as we look for the green. Randy Filipowski unleashes the modified as Craig Behringer out into the early lead. But here comes Tom Perrigo. There's 3 wide for spot number 4 down in turn number 2. And around goes Rich Ricci. Tommy Tyler somehow finds a way through. Gary Huber around as well. Jim Brokel into Gary Huber, but that appears to be very minor contact, but not the night for point. And Rich Ricci pulls the number 55 away. And now, in fact, that was Ron Santowski being pointed to the infield. He has steam coming up from the hood of that machine. And we'll get the clinch grain up to the field. Final feature event of the evening. Caution lights will be. Bert Irwin has refired. The number 156 in the Wild Thing is back on the racing surface. Caution lights remain and now have been extinguished, so we are set to go green flag racing. Bert Irwin will have to hurry up as he will want to catch the back end of the field. Green flag out on the event. Side by side, now into turn number 1. It is Tom Perego in a borrowed ride out into the number 1 position. Perego, Behringer, Steve Walsh, and now Tom Heinley looking good in the 11 up in 4th. That's a borrowed machine. And Cliff Wicks, opening day winner, moves into the top 5 with car number 18. Out front, it is the number 4 of Tom Perego. Perego, Behringer, Steve Walsh, Tommy Heinley looking good in the Rich Madison number 11, running in 4th as we try to get this final feature event in, trying to beat out another tropical storm here at the Airport Speedway. We've been successful once this year, trying to make it 2 for 2. Battle goes on for the number 2 position. Greg Behringer looking the best he's looked all season long with car number 16. Runs in that 2nd spot. Then it's Steve Walsh, Tom Heinley, and Cliff Wicks all dicing it up for the spot. Battle really continuing for spots 2 through 5, and while that battle goes on, Tom Perego and his Renter Racer out front tonight with car number 4.
Rich Ricci Jr. just makes a pole, 3 wide moves to move himself into the top 7 running order. Remember, he had to go to the back of the pack. He's working himself very, very nicely. This guy, Craig Behringer, gets around, bada bing, bada boom, down here in turn number 4. Problems once again for the right front tire. Problems down here on the front straightaway. Rich Ricci Jr., your point leader, heading into this evening's racing activity into the pit area with the right front flat. That's the crew, definitely trying to work fast down there on the infield. Finally, in his Renter Racer here this evening, now out of competition down here on the front straightaway. So Craig Behringer got out of shape in front of the pack. He was running in spot number 2, a very, very good run going for him, and got himself around in front of the... So Heinley dejectedly walks back through the infield area as Behringer looks like he's going to pull away.
Front end work continues on the Rich Ricci 55. It's not been the night for point leaders, but it has been the night for first-time winners and 2 non-winners on the Wicks and Doug Tyler. Rich Ricci refires in the infield with car number 55. He will pick up at the tail of the pack. Craig Behringer has refired the number 16. And Tommy Heinley, who had a good run going in the Rich Madison number 11, will be towed to the infield. A tough break there as he became the innocent victim of circumstance in the Tony's towing number 11. To dice it up. Point leader, deep in the pack in Rich Ricci. A good, strong second row. And Cliff Wicks and Doug Tyler Sr. as we get the green out to the field. Into the lead goes the number 4. That is the number 4 of Tom Perego. Steve Walsh trying to hold on to that 2nd spot and takes it away right now from the 18 of Cliff Wicks. Down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. 4, now 5 cars battling for the number 2 spot. Steve Walsh holds it right now, but Doug Tyler comes up to the high side, looking to take the spot away. Walsh working the low group, but it is Doug Tyler who works into the 2nd spot. And you may remember the last time we tried to beat out a tropical storm, it was Doug Tyler who took the win, and now he takes the lead with car number 22 as they battle for the number 1 spot down into turn number 1. So Tom Perego felt the heat from the master. Doug Tyler Sr. snuck by him to take over the number 1 spot. Now, Steve Walsh also trying to work by it. Perego not handling the way he was earlier in the event. Losing positions by the lap. Steve Walsh takes over spot number 2. Barry Davis tries to follow suit off of turn number 2. He's not content with spot number 3. Drives it in hard. Takes over the runner-up spot. He's got his eyes set on Doug Tyler Sr. Davis, a feature winner last week, now sits back in the number 2 spot. Steve Walsh is 3rd. Good battle shaping up for spot number 4 now. That's Cliff Wicks. Works down on the low side of Tom Perego with the caution flag out around the speedway.
Problems up at turn number 4 for the 47 of Jim Mokel once again. Davis picking up right where he left off last week. Finds himself in the runner-up spot right now. A feature winner last week. Very, very strong earlier this evening. Right behind Doug Tyler Sr. Doug Tyler Sr., 4 feature wins on the 92 Seaman. Barry Davis, very, very strong as of late. Who's it going to be as we get set to go racing once again? 9 laps have been completed here. Not quite at the halfway point, still a double file restart as Doug Tyler Sr. and Barry Davis go side by side up in row number 1.
Out front, it is Doug Tyler and Barry Davis, both feature event winners. Green flag set to fly on the event. Green flag is out. Tyler and Davis make contact, but everybody gets through okay. Down into turn number 1. Barry Davis puts the nose of the number 97 way down on the inside, looking to make the bid for the lead. Takes the lead away, at least for now, but here comes Doug Tyler, fighting back on the high side. Tyler heavy into the wall, somehow is able to rebound. Yellow lights are on. How did Doug Tyler pull that car off the wall? Looking to get the clinch green up to the field. Trying to slow down and catch up to the number 4 of Tom Perego. He's a small piece of sheet metal hanging off. And it was easily removed, so Tom Perego will get back into his spot. Looking to get the 4 of Tom Perego back up into his spot, then we will be set to go green flag. For the green flag off of turn number 4. Contact already amongst the leaders. Doug Tyler back into the lead now with car number 22. Tyler, Barry Davis, Cliff Wicks, Steve Walsh, and Timmy Heinley coming up through in the Chuck Low Presty 76. He's broken into the top 5. And Rent-A-Racer hits Rent-A-Racer. Rich Ricci finding a way through. Yellow flag up on the event. And we'll try it all over again. Number 4, green flag out on the event. It is Doug Tyler out front ahead of Barry Davis, and it's Cliff Wicks, Steve Walsh, and back into the top 5. Charging from the rear of the field, now trying to take over 4th. It's Rich Ricci Jr. Rich Ricci on the roll, charging from the back of the pack, has broken into the top 4 with car number 55. But the battle right now is for the number 1 position between 2 feature event winners in Doug Tyler and Barry Davis. They go down into turn number 3, nose to tail, the halfway mark up on the event. Doug Tyler out front with Barry Davis challenging with the number 97.
Barry Davis working over Tyler, who slows up at turn number 2. Davis now sneaks down to the left side. Problem down around the Speedway. Caution flies once again. Woo! As your leaders put on some fancy footwork down there on turn number 4. 77B of Bruce Warnke takes it into the infield area. And he brings it back out onto the track. So the clinched green being shown to the field. Clinched green racing once again. Doug Tyler Sr. has his hands full here this evening with Barry Davis off the turn number 4. Green flag flies. And Davis right on the back bumper now as they hit in a turn number 1. Tyler making it stick like glue to the low side. Davis trying to sneak a nose down underneath as they head into turn number 3. Cliff Wicks back in spot number 3 and Rich Ricci Jr. now back in spot number 4. The first 4 drivers, all feature winners in the 92 season. Working very, very well through the turns right now is Davis down on the low side. Tyler Sr. on the high side. Barry Davis grabs the number one spot away. Doug Tyler Sr. tries to rebound, switches through. Not able to get by him now is Barry Davis. Whereas the number one spot away. Off of turn number 2. Back markers coming into play. Jim Buckle sneaks out of the way. Look out down the back straightaway is Craig Behringer. Right in the middle of the track. Slowing down into turn number 1. Caution flag out around the Speedway.
That was a close call down the back straightaway. Nearly got their pilot's license, and they might have ended up in Kerhonkson before they came down from the air. The way they were coming down that back straightaway, they were coming down hot down the back straightaway, battling for a position, and Craig Behringer had slowed with a mechanical problem. Clinch Green will be up to the field. Caution lights extinguished. Caution lights will be extinguished around the racing surface. Craig sprinting up the front straightaway here. He knows they're about to go green flag racing, and he doesn't want to be out there when it happens. Green flag set to fly. Can't say as I blame him. Barry Davis on the pedal. Green flag is out. Barry Davis, Doug Tyler, Cliff Wicks, Rich Ricci, and Steve Walsh are top 5. Barry Davis continues to occupy the number 1 spot. We've got Tommy Tyler way up high off of turn number 2. He is able to skillfully correct the automobile. Now Cliff Wicks challenging for the number 2 spot. Wicks for one opening day makes contact with the 22 of Doug Tyler. Tyler appears to be having the handle and go away. Steve Walsh is slowed up in turn number 2. He is back under power, and we remain under green. Barry Davis is out front while they battle for the number 2 spot. Rich Ricci gets his hand into the fire right now as he tries to take the number 3 spot away from Cliff Wicks with car number 55. Barry Davis out front with the 97, but the battle is for second. Doug Tyler, the handling is going away on car number 22. Here comes Cliff Wicks. He has made a move to the inside and takes the 2nd spot. The question is, will he have it out? And Rich Ricci is around in turn number 2. He has refired. We remain under green as the laps are winding down, and it is Barry Davis out front. Out front, it continues to be Barry Davis in the 97. Yellow flag displayed on the event. The 97 of Doug Tyler Jr. has a problem, and suddenly Cliff Wicks, who has moved into 2nd, will close up the gap and looking to take down the win the first time since opening day. Wicks will have a shot. 19 laps shown as complete. 6 remain. Wicks. Doug Tyler, who appears to have the handling, going away on car number 22. He sets 3rd. Rich Ricci and Tim Hindley. That's your top 5. Looking for the green. Green flag out on the event. Barry Davis on the throttle into the number 1 spot. Then it's Cliff Wicks. He's trying desperately to make a move late in the event, but Barry Davis appears as though he may have a little bit too much to offer. But only time will tell. Gary Huber breaks into the top 5. Good to see him running in the top 5 after a dreadful week last Friday evening. Out front, it is the 9. Tyler goes around up in turn number 2. He takes the points leader, Rich Ricci Jr., with him. Number 3. Don't count him out just yet. The 357 looked fast in traffic. Now he'll have his shot at the leaders. Then it is Tim Hindley in the Chuck Lopresti 76 and Tom Perego in the Mike Eggleton number 4. That's your top 5. 20 laps shown as complete. 5 to go. This one far from over. Barry Davis. Will he be able to hold on, or will it be Cliff Wicks? Or is Gary Huber going to be the 3rd first-time winner of the evening? Only time will tell. Just looking to bring him up to speed down here off of turn number 4. Barry Davis in command. Green flag is out. Barry Davis, Cliff Wicks, Gary Huber, Tim Hindley, and now Tom Perego trying to move into the 4th spot with car number 4. He is down on the inside. Laps winding down, and suddenly Gary Huber appears to be closing on the leaders with car number 357. He is very quick down the straightaways, having his problems getting through the turns, but doing well battling an ill-handling race car. Doug Tyler and Rich Ricci are trying to work back through traffic. Laps winding down. And it is Barry Davis, and now he appears to be pulling away in the late stages. The 2 lap to go indicator up to the field from starter Randy Filipowski. Borrego trying to put the moves on the 357 of Gary Huber. Trouble in turn 4. Yellow flag will be displayed on the event. Rich Ricci Jr., Doug Tyler, and Doug Tyler Jr. all involved. Ricky pulls away again. It has not been the night to be a point leader here at the Accord Speedway, no doubt about that. And Rich Ricci to the infield with car number 55. For the likable competitor. For the green flag set to fly on the event. Barry Davis out front with the 97T. Cliff Wicks trying to find a little extra horsepower. Then it's Gary Huber, Tom Borrego, and Tim Hindley. White flag up on the event. 1 lap to go. Barry Davis looks like he is going to secure another victory. He is 1 lap away. Down the back straightaway now, he is less than a lap away. Checkered flag set to fly on the event. Barry Davis will win the event. Then it's Cliff Wicks, Gary Huber with a good run in third. Tom Borrego, Tim Hindley, Steve Walsh, Doug Tyler, Rich Ricci, Tommy Tyler, Bert Irwin, and Bruce Warmke. Tonight's modified feature event winner in Victory Lane, and we've done it again here. It is spitting rain in Victory Lane at the Accord Speedway with all of the racing in, and Barry Davis has come home the winner. And Barry, you've doubled it up here tonight. You got to be an awful happy man about that.
Well, the car's been working good for the last couple of weeks. I can't complain. It's hard to beat when it works good. You go wherever you want. It's working great. I'd like to thank old man Archider and Louise for the ride. My crew's doing a good job keeping it going. I've got to thank my wife for letting me play in the dirt. Other than that, it's working pretty good.
And we'll let Barry Davis, and we know it was a 97, get his victory shots in. Sorry about that. And as it is starting to rain here at the Speedway, we'd like to thank you all for coming out on a very chancy night. We told you at the beginning of the season that we would try, no matter what the weather, to get a race in if it was at all possible. We have done it again here tonight with rain moving in.
Yeah, April. September 1st, 1993, and there goes their piece of work. And a piece of work it is. The old racing team. That's the Accord Speedway. And there he is. Here he is stepping out. Pop the mechanic. And there goes Mike hopping into his automobile. Get over there, Pop.
I'll take a picture of Mikey, don't worry about it.
Hey, youngster. Mike.
Hey, buddy.
Bobby Rose, they're going to go and modify. Yeah, he's getting rid of the main.
There's first few laps. Good lap standing there, there's Paul. Yeah, go Ferriello! And there he's off. Nail it. Oh, hang on, Carlo.
There's Mikey and his finished product.
Paul Newman. You want to walk up there? Okay?
No, I see a green light.
Okay, that's on. That's on. All right, now. Jen's standing over there by Paul Newman. Paul Newman. Is a flash of Paul Newman. And Rich Ricci race car. And Rich Ricci's race car.
Down the track changed a little, Rich.
Speedway. Getting out of the race car.
Hey, look, he's climbing out.
Oh, you got it. Oh, I'm sure there's all kinds of cars you can get into. We're going to have
And the Ricky Racing machine. Come on, Robert.
Good job, Bob. Mr. Newman?
Newman's racing session.
Maybe we can have a hostage takeover of Texas.
James, Mr. Newman's the brother. Start helping with this. What'd you find? Right, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you, Mr. Newman.
You lost a little weight today after running all these cars or what?
There goes Mr. Newman. I gotta tell you, he's a very nice man. I wonder what you say when you're done. We'll come over after we go to the store to watch, all right? I says it's been a pleasure. I don't give a damn. Watch out, guys. Move, guys. Move. Botman. Who is that? 19, James. Who's that 19? There goes Mr. Foreman. Right there's the tail light.